My law firm, Gregg Herman SC, is partnering with the State Bar of Wisconsin and Pinnacle Publications to establish a series of videos on family law, which are going to be entitled, modestly enough, Herman on Family Law. Great title, isn't it? And they're going to start being aired starting July 13th. And we're going to have a number of different videos. And I'd like to talk a little bit this month in my this video about this project, what we're doing and why and where we expect to go with it. Concept is I've been doing this for a few years and hopefully have learned a few things in that time. And the State Bar has offered to partner with us to create a video series on family law. We're proud to say that the family law section of the State Bar of Wisconsin has endorsed this series. And it's going to consist of a number of videos, some of which are going to be on basic family law issues, some of which not quite so basic. Here are the ones we've done so far. In the basic ones, one of the videos is going to be entitled The ABCs of Child Support. So this isn't for seasoned practitioners who've been out there for a while, because if you'll already know that stuff. You already know the ABCs, but for newer practitioners or maybe even some attorneys that, paralegals that are fairly new to this field, it gives sort of a basic overview of child support laws in Wisconsin, DCF 150, how it applies, and a few strategies in terms of using those in representing clients. From there, some of the topics get a little bit less ABCs and maybe more DEFs or even later in the alphabets. One of my favorite topics, of course, always to talk about is settlement negotiations, as most of these cases are settled. And one of the ironies I find is that while 95% of family law cases end up getting resolved, about 5% of CLE is how to negotiate settlements, and 95% is how to litigate, which we don't do very much in this field. So I've put together something I've spoken about before, and that's part of my book published by the ABA on divorce settlement negotiations, which are I call it my 10 commandments of divorce settlement negotiations, 10 rules that I use and suggest be enforced in virtually every case and instance in divorce settlement negotiations, and that'll be another video in the series. One of my interests in not only family law but also outside of it is human being psychology. It's always fascinated me, and the field of behavioral economics I find particularly fascinating. And there's an area of behavioral economics which is known as game theory. If you've ever seen the movie A Beautiful Mind about John Nash, better yet, even read the book, which is, as usual, even better than the movie, although the movie's pretty good too. Nash is one of about 5 or 6 economists who won the Nobel Prize in economics for application of game theory to macroeconomics. Well, I find that game theory also has application to the field of family law. It's understanding how human beings react to certain circumstances, what stimuli and influences human beings to do certain things, and in our field, trying to convince clients to do the right thing, working with clients in negotiations also with the other side of cases, is really, most cases, the most difficult part of what we do. So I've done a video on game theory and its application to family law. It's not sort of your standard thing that you're going to see in most CLE presentations, so I hope people find it interesting. Another video that I've done is regarding unpublished but citable cases. You know, it's pretty neat thing to be able to go into court and cite a case to a court and influence the judge's ruling based upon that citation. You want to look like Superman or Superwoman to your client. That's the way to do it. Here's a case, judge, and the judge rules that way. Well, we have very few published cases these days from the Court of Appeals. Most cases are being settled, and therefore we don't have a lot of appeals, and maybe 1 to 2 a year that are actually published. Per curiam cases cannot, of course, be cited for any other reason except for that particular case. But there are a number each year, maybe 10 to 15 cases that are authored opinions which can be cited not for their precedential value, but for their persuasive value. And what I've found is that judges often are very persuaded by them. After all, if you can tell a judge, here's a Court of Appeals case, it's not binding on you, but you might find it of interest, and the judge realizes in reading it that if he or she rules a certain way, their likelihood of being affirmed on appeal is increased quite substantially. You're really likely to change where that judge may be going. So one of the videos that I've done is to take 11 unpublished but citable cases, they're authored opinions which can be cited under the rule, and discuss them and what circumstances and incidents they might be helpful in terms of citing it to a court and really, really impressing your client. We're going to do a number of other videos in the series and see how it goes, how many we do. But if you have any ideas, I'd like to hear from you. Some of the videos are going to continue the ABC series that are basic, don't need help or ideas with that. But if you have any ideas in terms of a video on a certain area of family law that you think is common or would be helpful, or even if it's a little bit out of the ordinary, shoot me an email, let me know, and take a look at it, and if it's doable, would like to do that. And finally, if you'd like more information, you can go to my website at loebherman.com. We have a link to this video series, and of course you can go to the State Bar website, wizbar.org, and to their CLE page, and they'll have all the information about video play and replays. And lastly, if you do watch one of the videos, hope you do, or more than one, you have any comments, suggestions, even criticisms if they're pretty gentle, shoot me an email again. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you find this series helpful, and I'd love to hear from you about it.